Welcome to CoinBook. My name is Calvin Waite, and I'm a professional crypto trader.
Can I just tell you how hard it is to start a video? It is extremely late, but man, I have been dying over the price of Bitcoin all day long. This is absolutely music to my eyes. That's a thing. So $44,000 Bitcoin. This is amazing. I knew we were getting there close because we got rejected so close. 2 days later, we're retesting. I just knew it would be a matter of time. And seriously, back here, I know those of you that are following my channel pretty closely, I said back here, within 7 days, we're going to see a $50,000 Bitcoin, and I stand by that. I'm betting with this breakout, it's happening. It is so good. All right, I'm going to do a little cleanup. This level is no longer important because nobody's going to look at this. Now that we have these bottoms here, this is going to be our new section that we'll be really watching for. So because the bottoms moved here, even though our line would have been at 30,800, excuse me, because of this price action here, it moved our line down. So we still have the support in this range, but this is our new line down below. This is going to be extremely strong support in the distant future, and I kind of don't believe this is going to be super relevant. We're going to take it off also, but our long-term line is in play. This is the one that started back in October, and man, what a pivot line! This thing has been absolutely perfect for looking for that resistance, support, and breakouts, breaking down. Resistance, pulling up. Also, this line is no longer relevant. This one is out. But I'll tell you what what is going to be relevant is this. Our line now, this high is going to come into play. So today's action moved us out of our trading range below, and now we're into all-time highs. When we broke above this line here, this is our line since October. What happens when a long-term line gets broken? The longer the line is in place, the more powerful it is, which requires a larger bar to get through it. So this long bar here was required to break down through that line, and it took a lot of power, but we've been rejected 4 times, and now this bar is gigantic. We've got a massive $5,000 day on the table, and we still have a couple of hours, 3 hours left, so it could even go higher. But giant bars, that much power is required to make it through these big levels. So breaking through the top here was a level, and breaking through this to switch to the other side of our pivot line took a lot of energy. So we are here, and we will not see the end of this for a while. So what will happen in the future, it's a little harder to say, but we will most likely re-interact with this line at some point in the future. So I'm going to put this down. I'm betting that if we can get a couple of days of upside, if things kind of slow down or whatever, it would be super healthy for us to reestablish this. We just need a few days. Like we need, 6-7 days up above this line where we don't touch anything. And a wick through to gain support would be spectacular. But man, we are celebrating this day. This is a gigantic day. Super exciting. Okay, so this is the total market cap of altcoins in Bitcoin terms. And we finally got above this line. We were super excited for our breakout. And today, with Bitcoin just taking the show, it is closing we're popping down below this line again. So there's 2 ways to think about this. Obviously, the shape of our trend is starting to change. We're starting to curve out a little bit, which gives us hints of a turnaround, like as a bearish move. The one thing that, so there are a couple of things to think about. Number one is, yes, we've broken below this line, so we could get back into our trading range. This threatens a head and shoulders pattern if it forms. Like, obviously there's nothing here yet. The other thing that could happen is that right before end of day, we could retest our most recent swing high. Our most recent swing high is here. So if we pull up and get our crypto market cap back up to about 11 million Bitcoin, this would actually be very bullish for the altcoins alt season. So it's really going to depend on how this closes. Even this as a near miss is fine. It just depends on what happens tomorrow. If we get a green candle tomorrow and then we start turning around a little bit, then this could be a beautiful support line, and we can still be off to the races on our alt season. If we slip down and we go down straight to this line here, it's not going to be very pretty. Not to say we'll immediately break it and completely turn our chart around, but this would be, finding support here and popping up. We're going to be watching how it reacts off of that, because we'd have to get one heck of a good bounce, or else this is going to look like a head and shoulders. So anyway, alt season, it's kind of in the balance, but there's still some coins that are doing really well, and the majority of the coins look really strong. So it's hard to say if this one day is going to wreck everything. So I'm kind of feeling like we wait and see. I'm not making any rash decisions, that's for sure. Anybody hear that rumbling sound? I think it's Bitcoin. Bitcoins are coming. Institutions, money, everybody. Bitcoin is coming. It's going to take over the world. So Ethereum is kind of where the alt season starts and ends. The past 3 days for Ethereum has not been pretty. So this downside movement has not been good, because where we had this resistance kind of flipped to support here, more flip support here, and then this resistance flipped to support here. Now what we wanted was this retest over the 200 week to move up and then find it as support. That obviously did not happen. And so what we're seeing is a slip. And what happens when these support and resistance lines slip? We enter a channel which is a definite change in trend. So I'm not going to draw this, but we are obviously, we have swung lower than this. When we get a lower low, the next move is our next high. If our high is met with tons of enthusiasm and we're back up here, then we could be in good shape. But when you lose the low, there is a strong chance that our next swing high will miss our more recent high. So we could be looking at a change in momentum for Ethereum. So I'd be cautious. I'd be patient, but I'd be cautious. We could be entering a situation where maybe we hold off on Ethereum for a bit until it finds its grounds. Bitcoin is definitely taking the show here. But there are some coins that are doing well, and I'm going to point out a couple of those. As far as Tron, we are threatening to exit the red zone today, and it's kind of a close one, but it's interesting that when you're in a drop situation where you're just continually dropping, moving sideways can be bullish, because all of your trends, all your long-term trends kind of line up and they consolidate around. So if we just have a couple of points up, we'll be moving. I've been following Ethereum Classic really closely. It has slipped back down. So we're still being patient on this, but watching to see if anything arises from that. There's a lot of coins in real strong negative territory. Ravencoin is one that I have actually been pretty impressed with. So I've been following this one. This big breakout has put us into an ascending triangle. And we're still inside that, even with today's negative day. And in fact, this move up earlier today was pretty bullish. We broke through some resistance, and we're doing pretty well here. This is one that I'm long that I'm expecting to materialize pretty well. Now, some of the others, they may be melting back. I might be taking a break. Last week when we had those really awesome days, there were plenty that were doubling and tripling, and I was telling everybody to look for exits. And lately things have been kind of heading back down. But DigiByte is one that is showing awesome strength. So we were way up here earlier today, and even now, where we have retested, so we broke through the 50. This was just a massive thing. And then we got rejected off the 100, but we came back down and we have not touched the 50. And we have found support. We have found a higher support than the 50, which is extremely bullish. And now if we close the day on the 100, just testing a support and then coming back within days to retest it is very, very bullish. I believe we're on the way up in DigiByte. So I am liking what I see there. Steam had a really nice day a little bit earlier. It was trying to do the same thing as DigiByte, but I'm still watching this. I'm still in this one because of this break of the red zone, and we're just gonna wait and see how that goes. Decred looks really amazing. It's one of the few that's just marching upwards. We're retesting that 100-week moving average, which is a big deal. Just looking really powerful, especially on a day when everything else is selling off. Let's see, a lot of these are struggling, and we are looking for reasonable exits. We don't panic exit anything, but when we start losing our lows, then we start moving out. Let's see, ALGO has been very impressive. So this is one that has not been phased by the action today, and this is our super long-term support and resistance. This pivot line, we are finding it as support, and today was no exception. We had a kind of a test of that support again, and now we're looking green, testing against the 200-day moving average. I could see this getting into a green zone pretty good. It's hard to get this into a green zone because our 200 is so far away from our 100. Our 100 has to cross above this, so it could take months to really get a green zone. But man, when you've got a coin that's unfazed by the volatility of Bitcoin, that's powerful. Mercury's just being crazy, just wild swings on that thing. And that's pretty much most of this market. I'm really excited though, because let's see, I'll just try to find an example. Like Verge may not be one. Let's see, Mana might be one. Yeah, so see how like today was just really a rough day, and we've had these long rejection type of wicks here, but it's still bullish. So even though we're down 12% on this day, there are a ton of coins that have this really awesome structure where we have this crazy high, but we found a really good support level way above the 50 and the 100 for the case of Mana. And then when we went up and retested and broke through the highs, this retreat is nothing to be concerned about unless we lose this low. So if we lose this low, then we're looking for our next swing high for an exit. Or if you manage to find a good exit, that's totally fine. But the majority of the coins look like this. So even though we've got these double-digit bad days, there's still a ton of strength in this, and we can oscillate after these huge candles without being too concerned. It's just the coins that are losing their lower supports. Those are the ones that we're like, let's see where we can exit on this. But on the whole, pretty awesome day. I'm super excited about the price of Bitcoin. This is just massive, and man, this week's gonna be fun because when Bitcoin does its thing, alts will eventually find their springs, and we're gonna have some pretty awesome alt moves just for the pure structure that's in about 50% of these coins. So I'm being patient and watching the full portfolio and loving this ride that Bitcoin's taking us on today.